Brexit is one of the most momentous constitutional developments in the United Kingdom in living memory. More momentous, I think, than our entry into what was then the European Economic Community in 1973. And the reason for that is that EU law has become so closely tied in to our legal and constitutional fabric, and that we're working against the clock to some degree. The Great Repeal Act that the Prime Minister announced at the Conservative Party conference will repeal the European Communities Act 1972, which gave legal effect in the United Kingdom to the obligations of EU membership. The Act will also translate into national law the EU rules that apply in this country at the moment. And the object of doing that is to enable us to decide whether we want to keep any of those rules or not. So, for example, there would be rules on worker protection. There are rules on consumer protection. There are rules about the cleanliness of beaches. Do we want to keep those rules? Do we want to abandon them? Do we want to modify them? And if so, to what extent? The answers to those questions will depend on the relationship we are able to agree with the other 27 member states, and in particular the question whether we are able to secure continuing access to the internal market. When we begin negotiations with the other member states by triggering Article 50, and that will happen in 2017, we will need to deal and address two issues. The first issue is how to disentangle the United Kingdom from the European Union. So, for example, what do we do about EU nationals who are resident here? What do we do about UK nationals resident in other member states? What do we do about UK nationals who are working in EU institutions? What do we do about EU agencies that are based in the United Kingdom? And then the second thing that will need to be addressed is the framework for the UK's future relationship with the 27. And once that framework has been agreed, it will have to be fleshed out subsequently in a later agreement. When the UK leaves the EU, probably around 2019, it will cease to be covered by the many trade deals that the European Union has negotiated with third countries on behalf of all the member states. And so the United Kingdom will need to negotiate bilateral deals of its own to replace the deals that it was covered by when it was a member of the EU. So all this, the reviewing of EU rules applicable within the United Kingdom at the moment, and the attempt to reach new trade deals with third countries around the world is going to, or is likely to, occupy Parliament, government and the civil service for many years to come.